What's up, guys? I'm shooting an awesome hip mobility series. This is just for you to help loosen up those hips, make sure you reduce back pain, reduce knee pain, reduce hip pain. So if this is something down your alley, this is the video that you need to be doing. You need to make sure you're doing this every single day. You need to be doing it, probably 30 minutes to an hour every day. So if you're having chronic back pain, chronic hip pain, chronic knee pain, this is your answer. This is it right here. This is probably gonna help you out. And this works 85% of the time. So for 85% of the people out there that are watching this video, this is gonna help reduce and eliminate your back pain. So try it daily. Let's get started. All right, guys, first drill we're gonna work on, this is called the frog stretch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move down into my hands and knees just like so. I'm gonna bring my knees out as wide as I can. For those of you guys, you might need to adjust your clothing a little bit just to make sure you're not inhibited by that. I'm gonna spread my knees as wide as I can. I'm gonna bring my ankles out so that my ankles are in line with my knees, just like so. It doesn't really matter if you bring your toes up or you wanna put them out to the side like I'm doing. Out to the side seems a little bit easier. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rock back and I'm gonna bring my hips forward, and I'm trying to find that limiting angle. So I'm trying to find that motion that is really working that stretch. So I sit back and I push forward, and every time I do this, I shift forward and back. I'm letting my knees just come out just maybe 1/8 of an inch, just slide a little bit. You're not even gonna see it on camera, but I can feel it. So every time I shift forward, my knee slides out just a little bit, and then as I shift back, my knee slides out again. And what this is doing is increasing that stretch as I'm moving through this motion, and really helps me get that deep groin stretch, just like so. You're gonna work on this, about 5 minutes would be good. Next drill we're going into a butterfly stretch. So now I'm just sitting down on my hips, and I'm gonna grab my toes, just like so, keeping the heels of my feet together, and I bring my knees out wide, and I wanna press down, if I'm able to, press down gently on the outside of my groin. If it doesn't work for you quite like that, you can grab your ankles, this might help you out. And then the next thing I'm gonna work on is trying to get my knees all the way down to the mats, and once you can get that down, then you're gonna start working on leaning forward. If you can't quite do that yet, don't fret, just stick with it, it takes practice. Now the next drill we're gonna go into is called the figure 4 stretch. So I'm gonna lay on my back, I'm gonna cross my leg over just like so, and I start out like this, just in case I happen to be tight for the day. Start out here is a really easy stretch. For some of you at home that are super tight, this might be the stretch for you, don't even go in further. So I'm sitting here like this, and the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach my hand underneath my right knee, and I'm gonna reach over my shin here, and I'm gonna interlock my hands basically underneath my knee. So if I sit up a little bit, you can kind of see that. So I'm kind of bringing my hands underneath my knee here. This is gonna help lock my ankle on top of my right knee. This is gonna help keep me from sliding over the top like so, just simply by grabbing my ankle. This also helps me with the stretch. And then from here, what I'm gonna do, if I'm feeling okay in this position, I'm gonna go ahead and start to roll back. So I'm gonna roll back onto my back. And again, I'm trying to pull my knee up towards my nose. So that's the goal there, is trying to go knees to nose. And once you get to that position, that's where the stretch is. For some of you that are real tight, you might have felt it earlier, but this is what the goal is eventually, is to get your nose all the way to your knee. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Switching over, this time right leg going over the left. Again, I'm gonna sit here for a second, let that stretch out. Once I get this loosened up, and it only takes a little bit of time, that's when I go ahead and move into the next part of the stretch. So this side feels much looser. I'm gonna go ahead and reach up. Again, going over the shin, and I'm going under the knee like so, and locking my hands up. And now I'm gonna pull this to my nose and roll back with it, just like that. And then from here, I'm gonna work on just pulling this in towards my head more, trying to get my knee all the way to my nose. And next up, guys, we're gonna go ahead and sit up. We're gonna straighten our legs out. I'm gonna reach forward. Again, I'm just reaching forward to grab onto my ankles. If you're not that loose yet, this is a great way to start. So I'm gonna sit here like so, just hanging on. And then once I feel like I'm starting to loose up, you notice I'm keeping my knees pretty much straight. I'm not letting my knees bend. If you're not flexible and you gotta do that, that's fine. the next stretch I'm gonna move into is I'm gonna reach up and see if I can grab my toes. Again, keeping my knees on the ground and just sitting here like this. Feel this in the hamstrings, you feel this in the calves. Real good stretch here. So for each of these stretches, if you're super, super tight, you need to be doing these for like 5 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes. I know I'm rushing through these pretty quick just to get through this whole video. But if there's one particular that you feel the need that you need to work on, go ahead and go back, pause the video, stop, take a look at it, make sure you're sitting in the right position, doing it properly. And so then I'm feeling it loosening up, so I'm gonna go a little bit deeper on my toes, just crawling my fingers forward, keeping my knees straight. And I'm gonna take a break from that one now. The next thing we're gonna do is a back rollover. I'm gonna lay back, and this time I'm gonna try to roll my toes all the way to the mat. So for some of you, you're gonna stop here, you're gonna feel this, you're gonna already feel a stretch here. For some of you, you're gonna be able to straighten your legs out a little bit more. The goal is eventually to get your toes all the way to the mat. So to get started with this, I just kind of sit in this position, and I'm trying to loosen my spine, the spinae erectors, all the way down the spinal column, and I'm trying to eventually get my feet to where they go all the way back to the mat. So once I start getting here, that's pretty good. I can get that stretch going. And now what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start bringing my feet off to the side. So I touch my feet to the side on one side, try and walk my feet across to the other, and then I walk it back, just like so, and walk it back across. Trying to keep my feet as close to the mat as I can, really trying to open up that lower back. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring this back forward, moving into our next stretch, which is gonna be a hip flexor stretch. So for the hip flexor stretch, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into the lunge position just like so. And you can do this different ways. Some people like to put their hands here. I kind of like this one, but I also like to put my hand on my hip, make sure I'm checking my hip, really trying to push that hip forward, because you want this hip moving that way and your shoulder moving back. So that's kind of what I'm going for. So I got my hand here helping with that, and my left hand on my left knee, pushing back with my shoulders as I'm driving that hip forward. Trying to keep my hips as square to the front as I can, not necessarily trying to open out to the side. Trying to keep it here so I really target the front of the hip flexor. Pushing your hips forward. Want to make this more advanced, bring your arms up over the top. And you want to make it more advanced, reach back with your right hand, grab your ankle, and you're going to pull this forward again. Try to keep your shoulders back and your hips forward. This really increases the stretch. And then if you're more flexible still, which I'm not there yet, you reach back with both hands, grab your leg. Let's go ahead and switch over to the other side. So now I'm gonna turn the angle just a little bit so you get a little bit of a different view. Again, I'm starting here. It's hip flexor stretch, hips forward, shoulders back. Just focusing on this position here, getting that good hip stretch. Feel this right through the front. Next thing I'm gonna do, now that I feel my hips starting to loosen up already, I'm gonna reach back, I'm gonna grab my ankle. And once I get to here, I'm gonna try and hold that position, balance, trying to push my hips forward, shoulders back. You get a real big hip stretch here. This is something that can help you out if you got chronic knee pain, practicing this like every single day. These are some great stretches. I hope this helps you with some of your back issues, with your knee issues. If you need more tips, feel free to email me, jeremyfitnessmma@gmail.com, or feel free to get on my website, go to my Facebook page, like this page, but like my Facebook page, Functional Fitness StL, if you like these videos, and share with your friends. Have a good day.